Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to try to simplify the story as quick as possible to keep the video length down, but it is going to still be kind of a lengthy video. So let me just get the formalities out of the way. If you guys want to do me a solid, smash the like button. I would truly appreciate that, as well as turning on bell notifications so you don't miss a video upload. Like I said, smashing the like button, it only takes a second, and it goes a long, long way to help me out. So if you do me that solid. If you guys want to try out Helium Mobile, which has a better customer service than this company I'm speaking on, go in the description and you guys will find the promo code. That'll get you guys your first month for free to try them out. Shout out to the channel sponsor, Helium Mobile. But anyways, so there's a little bit of an issue. Some of you guys who follow me on social media outside of YouTube pretty much saw this, what I posted on X the other day. And it's like it basically called out, Metro by T-Mobile, saying that the customer service reps are really bad. They're liars and what kind of, what not. It's so funny because the Metro replied back and with their cliche thing of like, please send us a direct message. They want to make sure I'm well taken care of. Like, you want to make sure I'm well taken care of. Bring your customer service base back to the United States, because outsourcing to the Philippines, not a very good idea. All right. So for you guys to understand what happened with this in detail, basically, I got the Moto G Stylus 5G 2024, bought it last year. This is why, and pay attention to the story. This is why people will tell you you should always buy unlocked. And it's true. You should always buy unlocked. Unless you absolutely need a phone and then you got to go through, getting it at a subsidized discounted rate for signing up, then, by all means, but you should go unlocked if you have the chance. So I've had the phone for a good length of time, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I want to see if I can get it SIM unlocked. Not to sell it to anybody else or anything like that, but I wanted to run DSDS on the phone. The Moto G Stylus 5G 2024 is able to run DSDS on the phone. You could have one eSIM and one physical SIM in that phone. And my Metro service is on eSIM on the Moto G Stylus. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to reach out to customer care, because as you guys can see, if you try to network unlock it, you're met with this. You haven't reached the 180-day requirement. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me reach out to them and just, make sure if I try to attempt to unlock it, if it's going to unlock. So I reach out to them. I get a nice lady. I say they're nice because you know what? They're doing what they're told to do. But the problem with, the customer service reps that are outsourced to the Philippines is that they don't listen to the customer. They just think that all the policies that Metro hands them and says, this is how we do things, is like ironclad, handed down, from the heavens to Moses' hands, and are given to the Metro reps to use. So if they don't listen to any customer, that's their biggest freaking problem. They don't listen to the customer. So as I emphasize that, I talked to her, I explained to her what I was trying to do. I was like, I'm not leaving Metro, I'm not porting out. I just want to see if it's possible to get my G Stylus SIM unlocked so I can use, the Metro service on eSIM and use an additional SIM card on the phone. So she's like, okay, let me check. She goes. I'm thinking that they're going to see if the phone is capable to be SIM unlocked, or how much more time does it need before they allow the SIM unlock. And so she comes back on, and she goes through the whole thing of Metro by T-Mobile doesn't offer that service. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you mean they don't offer that service? And before I could even get the rest of my words out, she's all like, no company does this. Metro is a prepaid company. They don't allow that type of service. AT&T doesn't allow that type of service. Verizon doesn't. No other carrier does what you're asking for. I'm like, you mean dual SIM, dual standby, where you can have two SIMs running on a phone? She's like, yes, sir. I'm like, no, that's a hardware thing. That is specifically to the phone. Like, Metro has no governance over that, other than that they could request Motorola to completely lock out, eSIM, where the eSIM doesn't even show up, even though it has one. They could do that. They can't lock out a physical SIM tray and actually have one on the phone. That would be stupid. But I'm just like, no, that's a hardware thing. That's something that Metro doesn't do it. So she gets a little frustrated. She's like, okay, let me check. And she just puts me on hold. She doesn't even ask me if I would like to be on hold. Now she's already getting irritated just from me telling her it's a hardware thing, not a software thing, not a carrier thing. So that's incorrect. And I didn't call her a liar. I didn't give her attitude. I'm always trying to be nice, polite, and cordial to them. Really, because I work in this industry. I want people to be that way with me and not be such dicks and assholes. So yeah, she puts me on hold. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna, maybe she's just having a very off, rough day. So I thought. Anyways, she comes back on and she goes, "Sir, thank you for being on hold." And then she goes on to say, "What I'm asking for is not a realistic thing. No other carrier does that." I'm like, okay. I told her, I was like, if you would just, let's take a time out, just listen to me. And I explained, dual SIM, dual standby is a feature built into the phone. It allows the phone to use both the eSIM and the physical SIM at the same time. The only thing you can't do is use two data networks at the same time because it's dual SIM, dual standby. If it was dual SIM, dual active, both data connections would be running. So I told her it is possible to run two SIM cards on this phone. And I told her, but we're going around in circles on a part of it that doesn't really matter. The point is my phone able to be SIM unlocked? Because that's the only hurdle. She goes, what hurdle? And I said, I have both SIM cards in the phone right now. The eSIM is already activated to Metro. The physical SIM, I popped in there. It's trying to read it, but it wants a unlock code to put in order to read the SIM card completely. She goes, that's not possible. And I told her, okay, well, I can screenshot it and show you that it's doing it. She's like, hold. And she puts me on hold again. I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on here? So 3 minutes later, a guy pops on. He's like, he announces himself as the manager, and then not even asking me like, to try to clarify what I want. He just specifically goes on what the rep says, right? Now the rep could have misunderstood what I said and gave him a completely different story. He's going off of that rather than trying to confirm with me if that's true what his rep just told him. He literally announces who he is. I'm like, cool, okay, you're a manager. Then he starts to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about. No other carrier does it where you can have two SIM services running on the same phone. I told him no. I was like, you guys could YouTube this. You guys can go on Google and search this. It's called dual SIM, dual standby. It's a real thing and it can be done. And then he just continued to argue. I'll admit to you guys, I lost my cool there. And I literally had to tell this guy because, he said what he wanted to say. So I reciprocated back and said, okay, you know what? You need to search dual SIM, dual. But before I can get a word out, he's already starting to talk some more about, we're a prepaid company and we don't offer services like that. And then so I literally just was like, sir, I'll let you speak. Now it's time for you to be quiet and let me speak so you can hear what I'm saying. And then I guess that changed the dynamics because after that, his voice was very shaky for the rest of the call. So I knew it pretty much got him shook there, but I needed that shaking for him to actually listen. So anyhow, I proceeded to explain to him what it is, and I told him this is a thing that carriers do not control. Carriers do not control dual SIM, dual standby to that effect. The only control they have is the acceptance of a non-Metro SIM card. And so I told him that all I want to know is if the phone can be SIM unlocked at this time, or at least give me a time frame as to when it will be able to be SIM unlocked, so that way I know. That's the simplest thing. On without the confrontation, without the dick measuring contest, that would have been a simple 3-minute call. Ended up becoming a 28-minute call. So then he proceeds to tell me, okay, well, we do not offer those services at all whatsoever when I'm asking him to unlock a phone. And I said, wait a minute. You telling me that the phones that Metro by T-Mobile sells, you guys don't have the services to network unlock them? He says, no, we don't have the ability to do that. I'm like, okay, well, that's a lie, sir, because at a certain time, these phones are eligible for SIM unlock and you guys can do it remotely. Or if it's an older device, they use the Metro device unlock application. He proceeds to argue that point about, it's something that, they cannot see, they cannot tell me. I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense. And I was like, so how would you, if somebody say they were eligible to get their phone unlocked, then how would you guys know if they're telling the truth if you guys can't see it on your end? So like, I could have sat there and said that I worked for these companies, I know how they work and stuff like that. That's not going to get nowhere. But if I put them in a challenging spot that challenges them themselves, they have nowhere to run. So after I told them that, and I specifically said that, hey, so if someone calls and says they want to get a phone unlocked and they say that, oh yeah, it should have been able to be unlocked, since 4 days ago, how do you guys verify that that's true? So yeah, he got a little irritated with me. He's like, can you give me the IMEI for the phone? Like, so rude. I'm like, okay. I kept everything as cool. Gave him the IMEI to the phone. He tells me exactly the day that I purchased it, right? August 20th. He goes, it's been 173 days active. I'm like, okay. And mind you, before all that, the reason why he was telling me that they can't see when it's able to be SIM unlocked is because he was telling me I just activated the Moto G stylus yesterday. Like, he was like arguing for 5 minutes before that, trying to tell me that this phone was just activated yesterday. And I was like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Look at the history on my account when that phone's been tied to the account. You guys will find how many times that it's been on the account. So when he finally decided to run the IMEI, and he said it's been 173 days active, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, it says 180 days, to be unlocked. So that's like a week left of waiting. And he's like, no, it's 365 days. I'm like, okay, well, that's going to confuse a lot of customers when you try to network unlock the phone and it says 180 days. And I'll show you guys right now that it still says that. Even though he wants to argue the point, and I'm trying to explain to him, like, I get it. He says that in June the policy changed over. It's 365 days. Okay, cool. It's 365 days as of June. But, it's going to cause a lot of problems to customers who go and they try to do a network unlock. And when they try to go through the process of network unlocking, and then it tells you 180 days, 180 days. Yeah. So to me, you know, I can sit there, scream, shout, and everything like that about it says on the phone 180 days. I posted it to social media, it says 180 days. So my thing is, if it says 180 days and doesn't say 365 days, unlock it at the 180-day mark. The guy wanted to argue about it or whatever. Okay, cool. Well, we're not going to argue about it. You know what? You say 365, I say 180. Don't worry about it. So, did I file an FCC complaint? Yes, I did. I'm getting tired of Metro's antics and the way that they handle their customers, right? So I went ahead and filed an FCC complaint about it, and um, gave the necessary information. So they just emailed me letting me know that they've submitted the ticket over to Metro. So Metro got it now. So now they know that I filed a complaint against them, and we'll see what happens from there. But this is what I find funny too. Metro reaches out and says that we want to make sure you're well taken care of. Well, I just explained it in my post on X in 2 posts, right? And I show the video showing that it says 180 days. So throughout that conversation with Metro customer service reps, I was called a liar several times. I was called, this like that I don't know what I'm talking about, scenarios. And all I'm trying to do is just get the thing SIM unlocked. I'm not trying to port out or any of that stuff. Literally, I even told them that I wanted to run 2 SIMs on the phone, the Metro SIM, which is my personal, and then another SIM card. And it's just like, if they're so scared of losing customers, when you hear that, I mean, that's a better situation to be a part of than you know, than someone porting out. But at the same time, too, this is the reason why people buy unlocked. This is the reason why that the FCC wants, device unlocking to be done in 60 days, because this is not a phone that's financed. And even if it was a financed phone, right? People will tell you, like, even if it's a financed phone, if you don't pay it, it screws your credit. Like, so whatever. I don't care what the situation is. The FCC is pushing for 60-day unlocks on phones. Just do it. Whether it's a finance phone, non-finance phone, just do it. This is one of the reasons that Mobile X, can really just kind of capitalize over Metro. Their phones are unlocked automatically when you buy them. They're not locked down to Mobile X. And, companies like Mobile X, Helium Mobile, they got a much better customer service. I mean, yeah, it's chat, but they listen, they read, they understand what you're saying, and they care. It's not like these reps that are hired in the Philippines. Nothing against Filipinos. I don't want to hear no crap about this guy doesn't like Filipinos. Okay, like my younger brother and sister, they're half Filipino. My stepmom, she's Filipino. Love the culture, love the food, love the ideology of the things that they shared when I was a kid growing up. The thing that I don't like is when they outsource because there's two reasons why. One, outsource centers know that those in America they can't go over there and find them after work because they're in two different countries. And two, those countries that they outsource to, if they have like the person doesn't like Americans, this is one of the ways that they mess with Americans. They do it as a way to get back. So there's a personal trip. I know this because I have a friend that lives in the Philippines that works at one of these centers and has said that's one of the things that they like to do. So not a good look, Metro. Um, Bring those jobs back to the US. That's what I'm going to say. Some people could disagree, but I'm not here to argue, foreign politics and domestic politics. It's just the way that it is. Their customer service is absolute crap. If you guys have had a very similar situation or whatever, go ahead and comment your story in the comment section of this video. Again, smash the like button. It helps get this out there. And yeah, take advantage of the promo code in the description, everything else, all that good stuff. I'm out of here. You guys take it easy and enjoy your Thursday. Because it's Friday, Junior. Aloha.